Hey everyone, welcome back to my vlog. I'm Robin, or a Hobbit's reading list. This week we are going to really focus on our TBR, as well as just like getting back on track after vacation. Vacation was very relaxing, but now it's time to buckle down, plan some stuff, accomplish goals. So let's go ahead and do that. Hi everyone. I'm in the ER. Chris was having some chest pain and trouble breathing, and he has a history of having blood clots in his lungs. So we went to the ER. They just took him away to get a CT scan to see if he has blood clots. So great start to the week. Really loving this. I'm gonna try to focus on what I've read, which, to be fair, not a lot. I haven't read any more of the Annotated Hobbit. I listened to about another 2 hours, a little over 2 hours of Here All Along. I really liked the chapter on Shabbat, and it made me want to sort of extend my own Shabbat practices. So I was going to probably finish it tonight, but I'm no longer driving to Chicago because we're in the hospital, which means that I'm scrambling to figure out who can cover the book club meeting since I'm not going to be there, which is adding, stress on top of stress, but that's fine. So I will probably finish it tomorrow, assuming that I go to work. I'm hoping it's not like last time when Chris was in the hospital for a pulmonary embolism. He was in the hospital for about 5 days. I'm hoping that doesn't happen. I'm hoping that, obviously that nothing's actually wrong, but we'll see. I have started reading The Subterraneans by Jack Kerouac. I think I'm gonna DNF it. It's just like, it's been a long time since I've read On the Road, but I feel like On the Road was more cohesive. It followed actual plot. It wasn't so rambly. Like, I don't know if I've seen a single period in The Subterraneans, and I'm at like 10% already. Like, granted, it is a short book. It's like 113 pages, but I've read like 10, but I haven't seen a period. So I think I'm just gonna DNF it, which kind of is a bummer. And maybe I'll have to like go back at some point and read On the Road and see if that, I feel like that didn't happen in On the Road. I feel like it was very different. So, and also I feel like if I push myself to continue reading, even though it's 100 pages, my worry is that, similarly with other shorter books, that if I don't like it, it's actually going to take me way longer than it would to read like a 300-page book that I'm actually enjoying. And I have so many books on my TBR, and if I can finish all the rest of them, then I won't have to take a consequence book. And honestly, I think it might be worth it to take a consequence book if I don't have to continue reading this, which is a definite sign that I should just DNF it. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna ask Siri what book I should read next. I'm just getting them through the library on my phone because obviously I'm not at home, but I want to be reading. So that's the plan. That's the update. I'll let you guys know if I'm going to be in the hospital for much longer. Okay, so I didn't film yesterday, partially because I forgot, and partially because it was like, I would consider it my first like real day back at work because I was just completely slammed. I didn't have any time to do anything. So I last filmed Monday when we were at the ER. Chris is fine, by the way. Like, I would hope that people would figure that out by the fact that I included a clip of a basketball game, but Chris is fine. There were no blood clots, which is what we were really concerned about because he does have a history of them. He had, and I'm not going to pronounce it, sorry, pleurisy? Maybe? Which is like inflammation in his lung lining, but there's nothing like technically wrong with him. So he's okay. But we did spend 5 hours in the ER. So I read about, I would say like 20% of A Ghost in the Throat. I'm enjoying it a lot more than I enjoyed the Subterraneans. Obviously, because I DNF'd the Subterraneans. But I think it's really interesting. I don't know if it's going to get more into like the history of this poet that Doireann is like obsessed with, whose name I'm going to probably butcher, but as far as I know, it's Eileen Dunn. Maybe? I'm fairly certain the first name is Eileen, or at least that's how it's pronounced. I've spent so long watching this like interview by the author, like to try to get the pronunciation right, and I'm probably still wrong, so I'm very sorry for anyone who's Irish and watching my videos. But I am enjoying it. I am hoping to be able to read more today, but I am once again at work, very busy, so not enjoying how hectic things are when I come back from vacation. One of my friends at work yesterday, like, didn't call me out is a not accurate, but she sort of pointed out, she's like, when you get back from vacation, you are actually like more angry or like more like disgruntled with being here, and so you need some time to reacclimate. But other than that, we went to our friend's house Monday night for the championship game. Denver won? I think. I'm fairly certain Denver won against Miami. That shows you how much attention I paid to it. But I did read about like 40-ish pages of the Annotated Hobbit, which is good. It went faster than I thought it was going to, especially once I got into like the actual like story part. I read the first chapter, and a lot of the annotations are just like acknowledging the changes that were made between like reprinting, especially because Tolkien sort of like retconned a little bit of like the ring in The Hobbit, because it was just a ring that turned Bilbo invisible, and then when he wrote Lord of the Rings, you know, it became more than that. And so it was just like retconned a little bit. But I hadn't read any more yesterday or today. I'm gonna try to read more tomorrow, although I'm gonna have to read like 60 pages, but that's fine. so that's 2 of the 3 books I have to update. I have 1 hour left of Here All Along. The last chapter was like a little triggering, just because of like my own sort of like preoccupation and anxiety about death, and like the whole last chapter was about pretty much like the Jewish rituals around death, which like I already knew about it, and there were a lot of interesting perspectives and a lot of stuff I didn't know or haven't practiced, but it just brought up a lot of thoughts about death, which is like not great for my mood. But it's fine. I only have the conclusion left, and it's about an hour, so I'll finish that tonight on my way home. I listened to it on my drive to work yesterday, but not on the way home, just because of how busy I was. I couldn't do it, but I will definitely finish it tonight. And I went ahead and asked Siri what I should read or listen to next, and she picked Maurice, which is my Consequence book. So I will be starting that Friday. So all sorts of like, woo. That's a lot of updates. So I'm gonna go into work now, and tomorrow, Thursday, I have a bookish date with Stephanie again, so we're gonna go book shopping, because what else do I do? Hey everyone, It is Thursday. I was gonna say afternoon, but it's like noon. It's not quite after. I finished reading Here All Along yesterday on my way home from work, and I I want to say like it was a struggle, but not because of the book. It was just a struggle because of like my mood. But it was a really good book. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was very informative. I learned a lot of things that I didn't know. Obviously, I filmed yesterday about how the last chapter was about death rituals, and like that was, I guess, triggering for me, but that's just because of me. The information was all very good, and it was is all from what I know accurate, and the things that I didn't know sounded accurate. But it was really good. So I listened to the conclusion on my way home, which like that part was a struggle just because I was just dead. Like my mood is completely shot after working so much over 2 days. My cats are growling at each other. So I finished that. I ended up giving it a 4.5 because like it was very good. If anyone is Jewish or interested in Judaism and looking to increase their understanding and learn about different ways of practicing or and just learning and different ways of studying, like I definitely recommend it. It's more of like, I think I said this 2 weeks ago. Like I wouldn't say it's like an intro book. Like I think you need to have some sort of understanding of Judaism to read it, but not a lot. But I think it is really like really good. I'm really glad that I read it. Since I finished that, I will start listening to Maurice tomorrow. I have it on Audible already because I couldn't get it from the library. I don't know how much I'm gonna read today because I am going on like book shopping with my friend Stephanie in like an hour, and we tend to just like go for hours, and then I have a writing date tonight, so I don't know how much reading I'll actually get done, but hopefully I am planning on like bringing a book with me to work tomorrow because although I will have to do work, so I don't know, we'll see. um I will, you know, include some clips of me book shopping, but I am also filming a video that's just book shopping, which should come out before this. So I won't have a book haul. So you'll have to just go look at that video. Sorry. Good morning. I hit sort of a slump last night. Like, not a reading slump, but I guess sort of maybe. My mood just sort of tanked, which sucks because I had a really good time with Stephanie, and I got, some books and a new bag, which you'll see in a separate video at some point. It's not going to go up today because I didn't have time last night when I got home. My mood hasn't really bounced back yet. I'm just feeling really stuck, I guess. Like I don't I don't talk about it a lot, but like I don't like my job, and it's not necessarily the job part, it's that I don't like my career, and unfortunately, or I guess fortunately, the place that I'm working is really good for the most part. It just happens to be in the wrong career. And so it's a really tough situation where I'm making a decent amount of money. The place that I work, I like for the most part. I just hate the actual work, which, like, and not that I feel like you have to like work, but like it legitimately impacts my mental health. sometimes, and it makes me really down and like really unhappy. So I think I'm just like getting hit with a wave of that, which happened when I went on vacation in March as well, but I think it wasn't as bad because I pretty much got back and I immediately was just like super, super, super busy. And it's really wearing on me. So I'm trying to get out of it, but like essentially there's nothing that I can really do about it, you know, without drastically changing and impacting the rest of my life, which I don't want to do. So I'm kind of stuck. But all that to say that like I didn't read that much last night because I was in this like mood. I did read another chapter of the Annotated Hobbit yesterday before I went to meet Stephanie, which is really good. A lot of the annotations were just about language changes between the books, like I mentioned in my clip from yesterday. Oh, I also, when I got back, I went for a walk, hoping that would sort of help. It didn't. But I did listen to about 30 minutes of Maurice. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly, because the audiobook says Maurice, which I guess is also correct. Which I guess I should probably try to pronounce it that way, because if that's how the audiobook is, it's probably more correct than I am. First 30 minutes were good. We're just setting up the first, like, I don't know, I was gonna say 5 years, but it starts out when Maurice is 14, and the part where I'm at now, he's like 19. And so there's been talk about like how he learned about sex and how he interacts with like the other boys at school, and like there hasn't been any sort of like significant like crushes or relationships or anything yet, and we haven't met like his love interests. But it is really interesting about like how in that time in like the early 1900s how he sort of coped with being gay. And you know, so that it is really interesting. I'm, you know, looking forward to listening to more today. But that's all the reading I did yesterday. I'll listen to more of Maurice. I don't know if I will read because I have a lot of work to do today. So, but I am going to Shabbat tonight, so that means I'll get an extra hour of Maurice. So that's cool. So I'll check in later. Hey everyone, it's been sorry, I have this like, I don't even know what to call it, like just automatic response whenever anyone says like it's been and then pauses. Just Bare Naked Ladies immediately pops in my head. What a way to start a clip. I don't remember the last time I actually filmed a clip. Thursday night, I believe. I sort of sunk into like a little mini depression hole. That stuck with me for most of Friday. I went to Shabbat on the lake, which you would have seen a clip of. It was nice, but it was also just swarming with gnats. So I could only tolerate gnats all up in my face for so long. So I ended up leaving a little early, so it wasn't as like restful as Shabbat typically is. I have a cat on my lap, and so that's why it's such a weird angle, by the way. yesterday, was pretty good. What did I do? I went and got my hair cut, so it looks a little bit cleaner. I did read a little bit, so I'm going to go through each book, but I'm trying to remember everything that I've done since you saw me last. I also went to a fundraiser in my town that is for the local animal shelter, and so everyone brings their dogs to this, like, central park area. And so we went down with some friends of ours, and I actually met up with Stephanie again, and we hung out for like 3 hours, just like surrounded by dogs. And it was really nice, actually. I think that really helped, like, pull me out of my, like, little mini depression. So, yay, dogs. And then I went to work today, and it was fine. Meh. It was work. So, in order. So, Thursday, I started Maurice. I listened to, like, 30 minutes when I went on a walk. I've now listened to, I guess, like, 2 more hours, which I swear it was more. So much has happened in the book that, like, the audiobook is only, like, 6.5 hours, and I've listened to, like, 2.5 now. But so much has happened. It's really interesting. It's more, like, I'm so used to reading classics or fashion mood, so I can, like, shift a little bit. I'm so used to reading classics that, were written in the early 1900s, and, like, doing my thing where I, like, look at subtext and I'm like, are these characters queer? And you don't have to do that in Maurice, because it is, like, an overtly queer book. Maurice has feelings for this, school fellow, and they've said that they love each other, and there's kissing. And so it's just, like, I'm enjoying it, but it's, like, to me, it's, like, whoa, a book written in, like, the early 1900s is just, like, gay. And it's really awesome, but it's, like, I'm so used to reading classics and looking at it as, like, queer-coded instead of just overtly queer. So, I am really enjoying it. The book starts when he's, like, 14, and where I'm at now, Maurice is 23, I believe. I know roughly, like, what happens. I've looked up the movie. I'm planning on watching the movie once I finish the book. And so I sort of know, like, spoilers. And I want to say we're close to, like, a major turning point for Maurice, especially with his relationship with Durham, which is, like, I guess his boyfriend, although they don't call it that. I'm really enjoying it. I was just so tired today. Like, my eyes are so dry. I know you can't tell in the video, but they're, like, really, really dry. So, I didn't listen to it today on the drive home because I was just so tired. But I will definitely have it done sometime in the next vlog. Next, I have only read about, like, 8% more of A Ghost in the Throat by Doireann the Ghríofa. I have watched her YouTube video so many times to try to get the pronunciations of these names. Partly for my own YouTube video, but also because, like, when I'm reading it, I don't want to be like, blah, 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 Irish word, I don't know what this says, blah, 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 blah. Like, I want to, like, hear it in my head. So I've been just rewatching her, like, 4-minute YouTube video, just, like, obsessively. But, so yeah, so it's written by Doireann the Ghríofa, and I believe the poet who, is the basis of the plot of the book that Doireann becomes, like, obsessed with those are her words. I believe her name is pronounced Eileen de Nicono. I believe. I know the first one is Eileen. It's the second word, and it's spelled D-U-B-H. That's, like, tripping me up. I'm really trying, though. If anyone is Irish and watching me just pronounces horribly, I'm very, very sorry. I'm really trying. I am really enjoying it, though. Like, for as much as I'm, like, just, like, fixating on pronunciations. I am really enjoying the book. I need to just like actually just sit down and read it. But I sort of like, by trying to do things logically, I've shot myself in the foot. Because I'm also reading the Annotated Hobbit at the same time, and I was just gonna be like, oh, I'm just gonna read like a chapter a day, and then I'll switch over to A Ghost in the Throat. That's not happening because my first full week of work just has completely killed me, and along with like everything else I'm balancing. So yeah, so I will have more in depth about A Ghost in the Throat in next week's vlog, because what I'm going to try to do is like make as much headway in the Hobbit as I can tonight, because I'm honestly like, I had so many other things on my to-do list, and I just looked at it and I'm just like, no. Like, there's like no way that's happening. So it's about 7:30 now. I'm probably just gonna keep reading The Hobbit until Chris gets home in like 2 hours. So I'm just gonna try to, I won't finish it because even though it is The Hobbit, and so like I am sort of breezing through that part, I have to pause and read all the annotations as well. So it's taking me a little bit. I want to say it took me like, I don't know, 40 minutes to read Riddles in the Dark, which is like a decently sized chapter. But so I am enjoying it. So I'm not going to finish it, but I'm hoping to, you know, definitely make some more progress. There's Reese. So that's sort of the idea. I am hoping that tomorrow, because tomorrow is Juneteenth and everything is pretty much closed, because I believe it's been declared a federal holiday now. I'm not positive. It should be. But so like I don't have therapy. My temple is closed, so I'm not meeting with my rabbi tomorrow. Actually, the only meeting thing that I have going on, which like Mondays I typically have a lot of meetings. The only meeting I have going on is personal training. So I'm hoping to sort of treat that as like a reset day to just like get back into the groove of things. So I'm gonna actually end the vlog here because I just don't want to be on my phone anymore. I hope you're enjoying just random close-ups of Reese's chin, essentially. But leave a comment if you've read any of these books. If you Reese, leave a comment if you've read any of these books or want to read any of these books and have any questions. Just talk to me. I love talking to people in the comments. It makes me really happy. Subscribe, I'd really appreciate it, and click the notification bell so you get notified every time I upload a video, which will definitely be Tuesdays, but maybe sometimes there'll be a Friday one as well. Isn't that exciting? But otherwise, I will check you guys in the next one. So bye.